Just as a gentle reminder, everybody, the Astral Empire started off as the Augsfube, the Advanced United Galactic Super Forces of the Bulgarian Universal Empire. UGSFUB. The Universal Bulgarian Empire, aka Augsfube. Because what happened is that, so long story short, my character, who was a human, about, about, 30-ish years old, somehow got trapped on this ship that was doing specialized experiments to hyper enhance the intelligence of canines and various animals. So, long story short, my character becomes friends with the scientists on board because he is not allowed to leave, and then the scientists realize what they were doing is going to be used for evil, and they wanted to put a stop to it, but they weren't sure how to. And then what happened then after that is that like the dog's brain matter somehow evolved to a point where it was self-sentient and capable of working its way, autonomously from a normal body. And then what happened then is that it infects my character, giving him pretty much immortality at that point because of its self-regenerative capabilities, wiping out any cancer, any setbacks, or anything of the sort, turning my character into a superhuman. The base suddenly suffers a catastrophic reactor meltdown, and that causes the base to explode. My character is launched in an escape pod by the last remaining doctors before they are blown up by the exploding base. My character pilots all the escape pods into a remote area in Bulgaria where they live for a few years as they work on trying to get technology to get them into space. One thing after another, there is a ship that can get them into space that is, it's, trying to get, stuff out there for aliens to see. So all the dogs that have been, all the dogs and the eggs and the fertilization machinery was launched into space so that way humanity could not get their hands on it. All the research was lost with the doctors and the base that erupted. All other information was destroyed. My character stays on Earth while the dogs and other things are thrown into space. Somehow God lets a kind of like a pocket dimension open up and swallow that ship. Then over the course of 15,000 years, in that little area, which is only about 10 to 15 years on Earth, they in this like other kind of like miniature universe, the empire starts to grow as the dogs move from one planet to multiple planets to other multiple planets to bigger planets and more planets, and then they start to purify their bloodlines and keep things working the way they should. They make hundreds of billions of life forms, based on breed: Tibetan Mastiffs, Bernese Mountain Dogs, German Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, like tons of para anthropomorphic dog creatures, which is pretty awesome. And no, they are not furries, and in fact, they will kill anyone that tries to call them a furry. They call themselves an enhanced canine individual. And in fact, they specifically have worked very hard on keeping, the ancient laws as their center point of their empires and peoples, so that way they won't ever fall into disarray like the human race has. And overall, that has worked phenomenally well for the 15,000 years that it took for them to propagate, grow, and for them to gain new advanced technology. So then my character throughout this time period becomes the Unity Wolf at its first stages, then becomes Unity Wolf Mark II, and then the Hyper Wolf, and then Unity Wolf again, and then Astral Wolf. After going through a couple of rebirths, and for like a short while, he was actually a Space Wolf. So he was also kind of like an advanced Space Wolf, based off of the body of the Wise One, which is pretty much like the Grinster, but a wolf, and not evil. And it's actually really cool. You have this like giant muscular wolf that's like, all right, this guy needs to be reborn. Use my body as a template to make him, and then that's kind of what got my character to be turned into the last stage of the Unity Wolf. And then when he saved the Saint Vanians from launching a terrifying weapon that would have destroyed trillions of lives, but in turn sacrificing himself, the astral pouches that this wolf named Amaterasu gave to him, she named herself that because she's kind of an eccentric female wolf, and she really likes Japanese culture, and she chose to name herself Amaterasu. Her real name was lost in time, but she was somehow able to be given a specialized rebirthing module, and instead of using it on herself, she gave it to the Unity. I mean the Unity Wolf. Which is his first name was Astralis, Sabin Astralis, and then when he was reborn because of the astral pouch that Amaterasu gave to him, he then became the Astral Wolf. So through all that, that's just kind of a quick little recap of all the stuff that had happened that led up to this point. And this is kind of a really happy story, a very hopeful story about, some of the stuff that the Astral Empire is working on. So, we actually do have anomalous creatures like this who have died at birth, if we would have died at birth if we hadn't stepped in. The way that these creatures were actually made is quite astonishing, and the purpose of it, surprisingly, is purely out of love. And we're not going to read that just yet, but I'll show you guys what they kind of look like. They are these kind of like wolf tar, dog tar kind of creatures. And like I said, all these creatures were able to hyper enhance themselves, and that's what allowed them to become sentient and to grow and make new creatures. And this is another look of like what the wolf ones look like. This is what a fox tar would look like. And then we have this kind of like giant muscular kind of like wolf bear hybrid that would have died at birth if not given this special program. And then we have this beautiful female fox who loves to fish, and she provides fish for her village on one of the fox planets. And this allows her to be a very useful individual to her people, and she is very much loved by her people. And then on this one this one is called the Night Howler. This one hides in the darkness, but is known to be very outgoing and kind to individuals who needs help. But as soon as they are done needing help, he disappears just as quickly as he appears. So they all have like different stories behind them. No, this is not my artwork. It is just placeholder work, so you guys can kind of get a sort of a look of what they what they would look like. So in the Astral Empire, we have Taurs, who are originally stillborn individuals who we were able to recover and give a new body. But due to the machines needed to keep them alive, this would unfortunately require them to either be bedridden or be in a mobile medical center or have multiple machines attached to them, including an entire team of doctors to keep them alive. So, instead of them having to be bedridden or carrying around an entire team of machines or people to keep them alive or functional, we found an amazing solution to this problem. This is called the Second Life Hexapod Program, or SLHP. The specialized program gives a new body to the originally dead individual and allows them to house all the equipment and machines needed to keep them functional and alive inside of a tar body. Even though they are way more bulky and massive than a normal individual, they are able to live a life almost completely free of constant care. Outside of the occasional appointments, tune-ups, recharging, and restocking of medical paraphernalia, and physiological and psychological checkups, they can live a fairly normal life in the Empire. These appointments are usually handled in quick succession, so that way they won't have to go to the doctor multiple times of the year, but instead just for 1 week every year. One day each being for different things. 1 day for the physiological checkups, 1 day for the psychological checkups, 1 day for the restocking and tune-ups, 1 day for the recharging and any other things that need to be fixed, 1 day for medical paraphernalia and things that need to be put into the body or taken out. 1 day for the apparatuses to be updated, and then one more day as like a checkup just to make sure everything else is up and running and up to specifications. If you ever do a quantum scan of these individuals, you would think that this was completely normal. Even though they do have technology and different apparatus keeping them alive, they are all made out of biotech that only the most experienced of astrologic doctors can detect. And remember, this is almost on the realm of astral tech. Like this technology is almost on par with what astral tech can do when it comes to keeping somebody alive. This is something that Edinstvo himself purposely made to better the Empire and people. The special Tar Core is a phenomenal second life chance for individuals whose souls we were able to keep from moving to the afterlife in time to stabilize and to give them a new body. This allows the Astral Empire to have a new realm of creatures to be a part of it, and the Taurs even get to have their own planetoid to live on free and happily. That will soon be upgraded to a regular planet once they reach critical mass. They have their own society, and they are as if they are a separate species that is part of the Empire. So you know how they have the Astral Wolves, the Space Wolves, and then they have the Golden Retriever planet. They have the Canaan Dog planet. Like they have about 100 different breeds having their own planets, and some breeds have 2 or 3 planets. So the Empire has almost 146 planets, including 16 military planets, and then a few other planets. This is the Astral Empire is massive. But yeah, so these guys, the Taurs, have their own small planetoid that they live on currently, which will soon be upgraded to a full-size planet once they reach critical mass of the planetoid. They have their own society and rules and everything, but they are of every type of species that we have in the Empire conglomerated into this beautiful realm of awesomeness. Throughout the start of the program over 5,000 years ago to now, the number has grown to a couple 100,000 and is estimated to reach a couple million in the next few centuries. In fact, originally, until Edinstvo came into the picture, these creatures were not able to propagate, so they would either have to adopt a child, or a new one would have to replace one that would have died of natural causes or in the military. So the Taurs would eventually age out and die of natural causes, or they would die in the line of duty or other various accidents. So their lives were very precious and sacred due to their specialty, their special skills and abilities. But now, because of the phenomenal hard work of Edinstvo, they are now given the abilities to propagate and make new natural-born Taurs, allowing this amazing paraspecies to finally be fully self-sufficient, earning them the title of its own civilization in the Astral Empire. These amazing and beautiful creatures are naturally very kind and caring, and often outgoing. They possess strong and natural maternal instincts to care for individuals around them, especially considering that they are about 3 times the size of a normal individual. So let's say like a normal astrologue is 9 feet tall. These individuals would be like 12 to 13 feet tall, and they possess a massive and very strong body. And on top of that, they are also able to give wonderful snuggles and cuddles due to their unique body shapes. They are also known to be incredibly muscular and possess supernatural levels of strength and speed and agility and intellect. They are a super species which is very seldom found in the universe. They are often called the astrologue Taurs due to their amazing abilities. Like, this is something on the realm that would be impossible without the great creator's blessings. So every Tar is blessed by the name of the great creator, and they are taught that it is by the grace of the great creator that they were given a chance to live and be in such an amazing and beautiful body. So now, the Astral Empire will have a new branch of the military called the Enhanced Tar Corps, which allows them to have their own custom ships, weapons, hierarchy, command structure, and more, all serving under Edinstvo, of course. Unfortunately, unless you are about to die or you are born into a situation where you can't survive on your own, normal individuals are not capable of ever becoming a Tar. So most individuals would just, and pretty much all individuals will either die of old age or of an accident or in the military. Unless a very specific set of circumstances is reached, you won't be able to become a Tar. Plus, anyone who tried to become a Tar would be seen as an abomination and a huge insult to the integrity and true nature of Tar kind. There are very strict guidelines set in place to make sure that individuals who are truly in the right situation will only be allowed to become a Tar. No one else. Although every single one has been one since birth, and because of the biotech that inhabits their bodies, it grows and it evolves with them and allows the biotech to continue to grow stronger and better as time goes on. This means that there is no need to ever replace or pull out components due to the biotech nature. This is truly a marvel of engineering that reaches the realms of supernatural ability. Only God can do better. It is estimated that in the next couple of centuries, the Tars will officially be a fully functional part of the Astral Empire, being able to function just as well as all the others can and more. And, due to the omnimorphic capabilities of Edinstvo, being the Astral Wolf and all, he is actually able to form his own Tar form due to him being able to be a bipedal form, quadrupedal form, or even a hexapodal form that can even morph into a Tar. Edinstvo made this choice as a way to familiarize himself with the Tars and to make himself more personable and comfortable with them. Because he himself has gone through multiple rebirths and forms, he knows what it's like being different, and this makes him the perfect candidate to be the ambassador and leader of the Tar kind. Remember, his first Unity Wolf form was completely feral, like completely quadruped. He was not able to really go bipedal long and would often be in great pain if he tried to. Then the secondary Unity Wolf one was him being a bipedal werewolf form, and then throughout these different forms and things he had, and then he had his space wolf form, which allowed him to be both bipedal and quadruped, and then he has the astral wolf form. No, then he has the Unity Wolf Stage 2, like the last one, which was him bipedal and quadruped, and, and, like, even being able to sprout an extra set of arms. And then, last but not least, we have Edinstvo the Unity Wolf. And, Edinstvo, in his most current form, is now capable of adding that Tar form to his abilities. So now he is capable of having a full-sized wolf body with his own torso attached to it, making him an incredible form of immense power and stature and physique. Remember, Tars are ridiculously strong. Like, there are, more skinny Taurs, which are not as muscular, but they are still very, very sweet and strong considering their size and stature. Then you have slightly stronger ones like this wolf tar, which are known for being not scavengers, but scouts, and keeping a watch over Tarakan to make sure everybody is okay. Whoa, calm down. Oh, calm down. Gee Whittakers. And then we have this giant bulky fella, and these ones are known for being like the really big leaders of Tar kind, making sure that everybody is safe and doing okay and following the rules. These individuals are known for being more standoffish, but overall kind and willing to, you know, help you out and be there for you. And then like I said, you have these really strong female ones who are built thick and tough, and they are also very very pretty. And yeah, and they have a beautiful form. They're very, very strong. Their body has an extra set of organs and other machinery inside of it to keep them alive and functioning properly. They just naturally have a beautiful look to them, and they have four big, strong legs. That allows them to stand strong and tall, and be an imposing creature. You know, then they have that upper body that allows them extra dexterity and ability. The capabilities of Tarkind is, monumental. And then, of course, you have like much larger Tars who are just built. Who are just naturally just huge, and these ones are known as Titan Tars, and they are known for being just giant lumbering masses of muscle and power. And they are often, revered as special, blessings of nature because they, so like a regular tar, their head would only be about where her elbow would be, and their bodies are about 20%, thinner than this one would be. And this one has three giant, beautiful tails, and this is, kind of a look of like what one of the Tars would look like. So this beautiful female would be standing at around 15 feet tall, and having a body that reaches like what, like 25, like 20-ish, 25 feet long, you know. That's huge. Like, and all of that is just muscle and some fluff. Like, just a beautiful giant creature of immense power. And yeah, this was one of the few examples of a Titan Tar, and Titan Tars are extremely rare. They are ridiculously rare. The most common Tars are those more skinny ones, and are often they're still more bulky than a normal astralic individual, but well, Astral Empire inhabitant, but they are more skinny. And then the bigger and thicker the ones get, that's the more rare ones they are. And then, then there's a clear difference between the Titan Tars and even like the bigger, bulkier Tars. The Titan Tars are on their own level of existence, and the Titan Tars are known for being, some of the sweetest and kindest creatures ever. And they have a more simplistic view of things, but they often just like to pick up people and give them cuddles and let them ride on their back. And for instance, like I said, guys, this female is close to being a Titan Tar, but just not quite. But yeah, where she has that basket of fish is where other Tars might ride, on a Titan Tar or a much larger Tar. And, and other astralic individuals who are not Tars, and they can, ride and have fun together and play around. And there are actually, tourist ships that are allowed by the Tars to come and visit and see how amazing Tar kind is and their society. And the Tars, because of Edinstvo's great and hard work that led to their success and being so self-sufficient, revere him as one of their own. And even though they don't see others as their own, they still are very outgoing and kind, and will do what they can to bless others and help others. But for Edinstvo, because of his omnimorphic abilities, and because him using his own astral tech and DNA, because of his omnimorphic abilities, to allow Taurs to be self-sufficient and be so successful as a creature, this means that, everything from the smaller, skinnier Taurs that are around, 10-ish, 9-ish feet tall, all the way to the giant Titan Taurs that are around 15 to 16 feet tall and just massive blocks of muscle and power, all of that is in thanks due to the hard work of the Astral Empire and Edinstvo, coming in centuries later and plugging in all the gaps that are needed to make Taurs what they are today. So yeah, it's a beautiful story of the Astral Empire trying to give every single inhabitant a chance. So even though you may not have started out as a Tar, if you are given that, that opportunity to become a Tar, and you wake up, and you are born, you're still born, but then your soul is able to be kept in stasis and, put into a new body, a Tar body, and, that, keeps their body functioning, that's huge. And it's amazing. And that, like I said, these Tars are not easy to make. It's not very often that you have, the right circumstances that allow a Tar to be made. And now that Edinstvo has made it so that way Tars are capable of propagating, this allows Tar kind to finally be something special. And now, unfortunately, the breeding cycle of Tars is an exceptionally long time. Like it's every 10 to 15 years or so that a Tar can mate and make a baby. And it's usually only one or two at most. And so Tars take mating. Well, they mate because they love each other, and they are monogamous and life partners. But breeding is an exceptionally sacred thing with the Tars, and they only breed when they know that it is time to make a new baby. Otherwise than that, they don't breed. They can mate, and they are able to pretty much, separate, the stuff that makes a baby from the regular mating stuff, so that way they can still, grow and love together, and, the special, male and female bond, grows, and is such a beautiful thing. And then, like I said, when it's time to finally mate, those peepers, which, or I guess tar peepers, which are these like weird multi-tailed organisms that allow Tars to, make babies, those are finally activated after being in pretty much stasis sleep and, growing with, its host. And then they make a new baby. And Tar babies are very weird looking at the first few years of life, but then they start to fill out, and then they look a little bit less weird. They kind of look all scrawny and spindly and bony because their bodies develop weirdly. They are kind of like derpy puppies. They're very plump and squishy and awkward and extremely clumsy. And unfortunately, Tars mature at an extremely slow rate. So let's say it takes about 25 years for a regular astralic inhabitant, an Astral Empire inhabitant to mature. For a Tar, it takes them nearly a century. And it's because of just the way that the bodies grow. So that's one of the reasons why Tars are so unique and so sacred in the Astral Empire, because it takes an incredible amount of work and trouble to get them, to full maturity and sustainability. So, whenever there is a situation where a tar can be made outside of normal propagation, it is handled with the utmost care, the utmost respect, and the entire empire holds their breath. Because sometimes baby tars do die. Sometimes the soul won't, grip onto the newly processed body. And unfortunately, within the first year or so, they pass on. And it's a very sad thing to happen. And, there are mourning periods of about a week. It's called the 7 day mourning period, and then 7 day, and then the 3 day hope period. The 7 day mourning period, goes over what led to the demise and what ways they can fix it next time, so that way, hopefully that won't happen again. And then all Tarkind and a large portion of the Astral Empire mourns for that lost baby Tar that died. And then those 3 days of hope gets people back into the state of things, and allows them to get encouragement, allows them to kind of get back in the swing of things, and helps them be hopeful in the future. So that's one of the things that really makes Tarkind such an amazing addition to the Astral Empire, and it's something that Edinstvo is fully invested into, since the Tarkind see him as one of their own. And Edinstvo is often used to kind of being an outcast and kind of just being to himself. So actually being openly accepted, without finding fault by these people, by Tarkind, it's sort of owed to him, but knowing that of their willingness to accept him as one of their own so willingly and lovingly really opens up a special place in his heart. And they are often known for being very effective in helping him with his PTSD and, CPTSD, and, a lot of his other issues that he deals with. And, it is said that he might actually make one of his more permanent homes with Tarkind, because that way he won't get swarmed, but that way he can still live in a smaller community that allows him to, be in a very special place to live. And the astral moon will then be the moon of that new planet, of the Tar planet. And that will then, allow the astral moon to finally have a home planet to circle around. Now, it is estimated that the Great Creator will come before Tarkind moves interplanetary, but there are plans and contingencies being made just in case the Great Creator does not remake the universe before Tarkind outgrows their planet of 13 billion cap. Right now, like I said, there's only maybe a couple 100,000. Not even a couple 100,000. I mistyped that just because of how rare it is. In all honesty, it's not a couple 100,000. It's more like maybe 10 or 20,000, maybe at most. Not a couple 100,000. That's my apologies, guys. But yeah, it's a very small amount, and they live in this happy little kind of town complex area where it's little towns and then a giant city that kind of is where a lot of the Tars live, and then you have the smaller towns. And the Tars want Edinstvo to live with him, and Edinstvo has always lived on a ship. He has always lived on a ship. He's always been a nomad. He's always been up and running. So considering that he might actually have a home now and a place where he can kind of feel comfortable, despite him usually being up and ready to go, this might actually be a chance for him to finally be able to live a somewhat normal-ish life, surrounded by loved ones, and being able to actually set foot on terra firma every morning and being able to see a sunset, being able to see a sunrise, being able to see the beautiful astral moon that lights the sky at night, being able to actually live a life instead of being, 100% always on military duty, always on this, always on that. And, what was her name? Sufti. Sufti, was pretty much on her knees begging Edinstvo, saying, you gotta take care of yourself. You've been doing this for many centuries ever since I met you. We have to live a normal life. It'll help both you and I grow a stronger bond, and it'll help you recover from PTSD. It'll help you recover and be able to have some level of resemblance of a normal life again. You've lived your entire life, pretty much, on the fighting, and then we can finally settle down and have a home. And and it took a lot of her saying that to finally convince Edinstvo to give it a try. And when Tarkind, invited Edinstvo to make his home on their planet instead of the capital planet of, the Astral Empire, that really made, Edinstvo think. Because the capital planet is a bombastically huge planet. Like, it is like 6-7 times the size of Earth. It's a big chunker of a planet. It is a chunker of a planet. So, okay, Google, 13 billion times 7.
The answer is 91 billion.
You have almost 100 billion inhabitants on a planet that is gargantuan in scale. It is a super planet. It is a hyper planet. It is a massive chunker of a planet. And Edinstvo would be way over his head in that environment. But being on that small planetoid, that's bigger than the astral moon, but small enough to still be, a planet, and, big enough to be a planet, but small enough to be very easily manageable for Edinstvo. And being able to be surrounded by individuals who have a much calmer view of life, partially due to the hard work of Sufti being able to, work with them and talk to them, and due to Sufti being her own omnimorphic ability, being able to change and morph between quadruped, hexapodal, and even bipedal. The Taurs also see her as one of their own. And they see her as one of the most beautiful creatures in the universe, because she also sprouts the colors of the Astral Seven. Like, she's pretty much like the good version of Plamuk. Like, she is incredibly intelligent. She's big. She's strong. She's built tough. She is extremely muscular. She's bulks up on power and strength, and And so, yeah, considering that she is about 20% bigger than Edinstvo, already making her a massive creature, this finally means that, she will be able to finally have a home with her love, the love of her life, who she has been together with for about 400 plus years. And, she, is so happy that Edinstvo was finally making this choice to live on the Tar planetoid and to be in a happy, peaceful society that is just, its own little place, a place that he can finally have as a home. And the astral fleet, the astral high fleet, will be based on the astral moon, which is only like a short 2 or 3 minute journey using a hyperlight speed. Using a hyperspeed, engines to get from the moon to the planetoid. So if there's ever needs to be a quick response, if the Tar people ever come under attack, they will have the Astralic High Fleet there and ready to go. And Edinstvo has made a point to try to keep as little military-esque lifestyle away from the Tar people, unless they themselves want it, just because of, their uniqueness and their natural makeup. He doesn't want to ruin their purity and their, beautiful demeanor. So if the Tar kind think that they should have a more advanced military, Edinstvo will help them with that. But if they want to keep more, not pacifist, but like, don't mess with us and we won't mess with you style, that's great. And the Tars do have their own little military, and they have been provided with the most powerful weaponry that the Astral Empire does have available, and they have been taught how to use it. But they do try their best to stay out of conflicts if needed, and that's one of the reasons why they are in a specialized pretty much it's pretty much the equivalent of the Geneva Convention or treaty. It's just like if you attack the Tar people, you pretty much are setting up your entire empire for destruction. Anyone who attacks the Tars is pretty much committing suicide for their entire people. Like they're like not only will you be destroyed, but your people will also suffer heavily for your own impudence and for trying to attack these beautiful creatures who are literally doing nothing to bother anyone else. And so this will mean that Edinstvo will be in the safest part of the Astral Empire. He will have the entire Astralic High Fleet, based on the Astral Moon, so that way he will be safe and sound and happy. And that means there will be quick response for anything bad that might happen. And that will also give the Civilian Defense Force, Tier 1, Tier 2, and the Interplanetary Civilian Defense Force, and the outer territory civilian defense forces more chances to hold off attacks. Now that will mean more ships will be lost and more lives will be lost, but that will allow more chance for the civilians to finally be able to do their part, because 98% of the fighting has been Edinstvo. And it's about time that he finally cuts back a bit and, is battle ready, but finally living a life that he can enjoy. All he knows is fighting and, military. So this will be a fantastic opportunity for him to finally be able to find a happy little planetoid to live on, surrounded by loved ones and people who care about him, and to finally have a chance to just rest and, live a beautiful life with Sufti. So, Edinstvo made this choice as a way to familiarize himself with the Tars and make himself more personable and comfortable with them. Because he himself has gone through multiple rebirths and forms, he knows what it's like being different, and this makes him the perfect candidate to be the ambassador and leader of Tar kind. This has gained Edinstvo great favor in the eyes of the people of both the Tars and regulars, or Astralic inhabitants. This will allow a tight bond and relationship between the Tars and Edinstvo and the Astral Empire. This program has been a resounding success and continues to be a testament to insurmountable odds being against the Empire, and the people of the Empire working together to break those odds so that way others may have life. What future phenomenal jumps will this new Second Life Hexapod Program, or SLHP, have for the people of the Astral Empire? Only time will tell. A bright and hopeful future awaits the Astral Empire with this new development. And because of this choice, this will make the rest of the Astral Empire much happier, because they are so used to seeing Edinstvo stressed and dealing with constant anxiety attacks and CPTSD episodes, and other various bits of psychopathy and insanity. So with him finally being able to have a life, he will be able to lead the Astral Empire at a much more happy and personable level. And that will make the people much more happy. That will make the Empire feel much more homey. I mean, it already is a very homey empire. But having, Edinstvo finally having his own life will give him a sense of familiarity with his people. and that will allow the Astral Empire to flourish and enter a new age of development and prosperity. So, but like I said, a bright and hopeful future awaits the Astral Empire with this new development. I hope you guys enjoyed this story and enjoyed this update of what Edinstvo is doing, and this will be a fantastic opportunity, for you guys to catch up on more information about the Astral Empire and Edinstvo. And don't worry, guys, he won't be giving up his military lifestyle. He'll just be more like on call. Like, if there is a substantial threat that merits his help, then he will jump in and fight. But he won't be fighting every single battle like he used to. He'll only be fighting the ones that he needs to. He'll still be the biggest and strongest mofo in the Empire, and will still have the biggest and strongest fleet. But he'll finally be able to, have a life and, actually be able to see his people work and handle the Empire itself and see how well they do, giving him a chance to actually step back and rest for the foreseeable future and being able to live a happy and prosperous life with his wonderful, wonderful mate. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I know it went long, but it's just really fun being able to tell you guys, stuff that I've been working on for years and years and years. And, when I saw these pictures, I was like, I've been thinking about this for quite a while. Time to finally put it down on paper. But anyway, guys, you guys stay awesome, and always remember, God bless.